Right, we're doing a Euros roundup. We've got a very, very special guest in Mick McCarthy. It's great to see you, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Voice is going, so it's probably gone all together by the end of this.
Hopefully not too soon. Absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And thank you for joining us. We've got Hugh in the building as well. Hugh, how you doing?
Very well. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me again.
All right, let's talk about Portugal. They beat the Czech Republic 2-1. I think it was unconvincing, to say the least. Does Cristiano Ronaldo, in your opinion, Mick, need to be starting up front at his age, 39 years old? Is it limiting to the squad? Does it tactically make sense for you?
If he's the best player.
Is he, do you think? Do you think he can do it at the highest level? 39?
Well, I think everybody's been questioning him for years. And even as a young lad at Manchester United, he's just answered all the questions forever, evermore. And I watched him in the game against Ireland. It's somewhat different, but he was excellent.
Scored some great goals, didn't he?
Prior to that, yeah. So I'm looking at that and thinking, what's everybody whinging about? And I don't know who the alternative is.
No, I don't.
But there was a young lad that came on, wasn't it, in one of the competitions. Was it the World Cup? Kid came on, scored goals, and I'm saying, forgive me, I can't remember his name, but there's a lot of talk about him. I've read about a couple of Portuguese journalists saying, I just think if he's the best, yes. If he's not, no, just leave him out. And the problem is, he's sat on the bench. He said, I'm smouldering. He's smouldering, you know, and he puts pressure on the coach. So
we had it when Rangnick dropped him, or brought him off the pitch and onto the bench, and the cameras are just. But then you kind of think that's just a result of the player that he is. He doesn't ask for it to be that way.
Do you not take him then? Is there any debate?
I think
for me. I think you have to take him. Is there a debate you don't even take
Martinez
him?
has made a rod for his own back in terms of. I think you've got a very good team here in this Portugal side. You look at some of the players in it; they're really good. I don't think his performance was actually bad.
It wasn't
Czech
bad.
Republic
No.
game. I don't think he was unlucky with the header,
post.
which was offside. He hit the post.
Yeah.
I don't think his performance was that bad.
The Czechs are
but
good side as well.
it is a difficult one. Like,
We're talking about
has
him being
Martinez got the?
You're talking about him being too old. You got Pepe's 42.
That's
He's
crazy.
starting. Like Cristiano's
crazy.
okay. He's still a fit man.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's not,
the thing is, he's still playing football, not at any great level, look, come on, he's maintained his fitness and his physique. He's a magnificent specimen, and let me tell you, dare to leave him out.
I don't think Martinez is big enough to do it.
Well,
You'd be big enough, Mick. I think you'd leave him out.
absolutely, if I thought it was the right way, but I don't think it is, because I think he has a positive effect on players. I bet he has when they're all there. I mean, what he's done in his career behind him, it would just be off the scale if they left him out.
Yeah.
You know, when we watched the World
You'd
Cup,
be worse off. You'd be worse off if you left him out.
when we watched the World Cup and you saw Argentinian players just dying to be a part of Messi's legacy, they're doing the same here. They want him to win, and if they can help him to sort of extend and also make them successful, I just see it as a no-brainer.
a win-win.
I can't believe people are talking about whether or not we're playing Cristiano Ronaldo.
Who's the alternative? Like,
Maybe Ramos?
Is it Ramos? Yeah.
Or
I think Ramos has kind of got if Ramos comes on in the limited time that he gets or the substitute appearance he gets and scores, then maybe put some pressure on if Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't delivered by that point. But he's got to earn that spot.
Adam, I tell you what, as a centre half, I'm thinking, who do I want to play against? And it wouldn't be Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
That's for sure. No matter what you say, he's 39, he's this, he's that. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. Because if you stick a ball in the box, he's likely to jump above the crossbar and beat it and nod it in. He's got that in him. Just one moment in that 90 minutes, he could change the game for you.
Yeah.
And I'd be taking him. You say, would I leave him? Yes. If I thought it was the right thing to do, yes, I would. But I'll tell you what, I just know what a commotion it would cause if you did that. You're as well off taking him. And
Are those kind of things?
he's a leader anyway. He's a leader.
He's
You
a
need
leader.
him. You need him in the squad. And
Have you ever had to make a decision like that where whether you make it or not, kind of you consider the ramifications and the fallout from a decision? Does that ever go through your mind, or do you just think, I have to make a decision for the best of the team? Because surely, like, a manager has to deal with questions in press conferences. And we've seen
Every
you.
time you do it at club level. You do
Yeah.
it at international level, of course. It means more. But you're doing it all the time. Yes, we all do it. And like I said, it's always the players who are not there that is the story. So imagine the story if he leaves.
Yeah.
Why would you? Anyway? I met you right. Why would you leave him out? He'd just be damn right stupid.
You're right. It just takes so much attention off of what they need to be focused on. I think him being there is impactful enough, even just in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Just for who he is.
Also, I think look at the performance. Czech Republic's goal was their only shot. Was their only shot on target. Came out of the blue.
They were so negative, weren't they?
France,
5 at the back.
We're gonna speak about France. France didn't have the most convincing performance, nor did England. I don't think you have to.
Harry Kane didn't do
It's
much.
nice to start off on fire, but you don't have to start off on fire.
Win the first game, however you do it. Doesn't matter. Just win the game.
And is that how we're looking at France's performance, guys, against Austria with the 1-0 win?
No, Austria were brilliant. Austria got right in amongst them and closed them down and went on. I thought they were unlucky. I loved watching, and I've got one of the games to do, Austria and against the Netherlands, Austria. I thought, I can't wait to do it now. It's having watched them. I thought how good they were and how unlucky they were. And it's always, people always like pick on England. Oh, they weren't very good in the second half. Give the other team some credit. You can't just roll over teams. I know some will, but it's generally got to be a poor performance from the opposition when that happens.
They had one unbelievable chance. Through on the striker, he just tried to scoop it over the keeper, I think.
He did, he missed it, didn't he?
I reckon 9 times out of 10, that's a goal.
Yeah, 100%.
Rangnick's a good coach as well. I mean, whether that's his preferred position, I mean, it's always been discussed whether he wants to be a director of football, a manager or whatever. He's a really good coach who was considered to be linked with the Bayern Munich job and all those.
He turned down Bayern Munich.
Did he turn him down?
I heard he turned them down.
It feels like it doesn't feel right.
Have you got secret sauce there?
Well, if ever there was a time to do it.
I'm on Twitter all the time, mate. I'm on Twitter.
Oh, well,
I've got sources,
his sources trust me, bro.
I believe you then.
What about Belgium? Obviously, they've got a relatively new manager in Tedesco at tournament football. The golden generation slowly kind of leaving the Belgians, in my opinion. De Bruyne's kind of the last remnants of that golden generation. They lost to Slovakia. What do you make of Belgium?
Talk to me about that handball decision, will you? Wow. Oh. I mean,
Grim.
How are they going to check? That rule has got to be, if it hits your hand, it's a free kick.
So
that's the only way they can do it for me.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I didn't enjoy that game because of the officiating. Like, not only have you got, I understand, an underdog who isn't technically as gifted, they do a little bit more to make sure that they get the win. I respect that, but the referees, the linesmen, and all this VAR stuff, it really took away from the game. And
I agree.
I even thought, it's the first time I've ever looked at an offside call and thought, you know what? Maybe they do need to change the law here, because yes, he was offside, but he's like the size of 4 men, Lukaku. How do you keep him onside and keep it fair?
It's sad, isn't it? It's sad.
Because 3/4 of him is on. He's just...
Wait, when you were playing, Mick, it would have been benefit the doubt, wasn't it? It was benefit the doubt for the striker.
Daylight, and that seemed fair.
Yeah, daylight.
Yeah, and I suppose I was whinging about it then if it was. But I look at it now, some of the decisions, and because there was another decision in one of the games that was a handball. I'm thinking, well, that is handball. If that was, wasn't. They didn't give it. And then I get somebody come on the television, a referee, or somebody who's being paid to tell us why it's being done and the legality.
Oh, that was the worst bit.
Which is
that's mad.
Which is the biggest load of nonsense that I've heard in a long time, because I still don't believe it.
No.
Yeah.
And
the explanation that they gave with this flicker thing that they've added.
Yeah, from
honestly,
cricket.
what is going on? What's happening to the sport?
Is it sneakometer?
Sneako.
From cricket. Did you see that?
Wow, Sneako.
The handball, they use a sneakometer like in cricket to see if there's any sound on the hand to ball.
Yeah.
You're like, what world are we living in?
What mic is this?
Exactly. They're making it up. They're adding it in post. It's crazy.
Well, the guy that had it, who was running, had collided with a player, and he's bumped him here, so your arm's gonna go there.
It was also the natural running motion of his arm. The whole thing was just so wrong.
But I agree with everything that you guys are saying here, but the Ronaldo decision for offside from the goal that Jota scored, that impressed me with the speed of it.
Okay.
Like I don't want VAR anyway, but that decision, like, it was just boom.
It's
very
slightly
quick. In the
better
Premier
than-
League, we
yeah.
see them drawing all these lines, and what, and it was just very quick, and the players just finished celebrating, and we knew it was offside.
By the way, I was delighted for Slovakia, going back to them. Slovakia will beat Belgium.
Yeah,
I was thrilled for them.
It's the biggest upset ever, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I love an underdog.
It's not great for my prediction.
What must be going through Lukaku's head?
I said they're going to win the whole thing, but I've changed my mind now.
What must be going through Lukaku's head, man? I thought he was going to explode at one point. Everything he seemed to do, he'd had chances, miss them, he'd score goals, disallowed. Like,
I know the irony of it is the finish he made for that handball was amazing.
Unbelievable, yeah.
That didn't count, of course.
It's very Lukaku-esque performance. I'm sure you.
Yeah, I remember some of those performances. And when Romelu Lukaku is on it, he's unbelievable. I remember being at the Hawthorns for Fergie's last game, and he scored a hat-trick against us. And absolutely ragdolled Rio Ferdinand, made him look like he was nothing. And then when he's in his own head, he can't trap a ball. He can't do it. It's pinball with him. And you just think, how is that the same player that, there's some days where he's just a machine, and some days where...
I saw him play in the league. Where did he come from in Belgium? Which club was he at?
Liège.
Anderlecht. Was he Anderlecht? Yeah, but it was Standard Liège, I think I'd gone to watch. We were looking at games. So it's 2008-9 with Wolves. And they said, we got this guy with us, one of the scouts, and he said, oh, this lad's coming on, he's 17. No, he can't be. What, Stone? Seriously, he was huge and like muscly, powerful lad, and he went on. That's the first time I saw him when he came on.
You could have signed him. He could have partnered Ebanks Blake up front.
Yeah, with as much chance of signing him. No, Ebanks was all right on his own.
Ebanks Blake was good because he was at United.
Fabulous.
He was I remember watching him at United and thinking, we've got. I do it every year with their character. We've got one here.
Yeah.
This guy's. I remember at Plymouth he scored a goal.
He went to Plymouth. That's
one of the best goals I've ever seen.
We signed him from Plymouth.
Yeah, he was a real handful.
Great player.
He was a great goal scorer.
Yeah. Should we rank the best and worst sides we've seen so far in Euro 2024? I can do an easy one, lads, to start off. Scotland, one of the worst sides so far ever in Euros history. 5-1. It's the worst opening day defeat in Euros history. They're shocking, aren't they, Scotland?
Against Germany. What are we expecting here?
Not the way they were playing. It was so poor.
The keeper had a bad one, didn't he?
Oh, I felt bad for him. I felt bad for the keeper. But what did you make of Scotland's opening?
I'm pleading the fifth on the best and the worst. Let me tell you. What did I think about Scotland's performance? They just started badly, and Germany were all over them like a rash. I have to say though, I got a bit miffed with all this talk about Robertson when he was punching he won the tackle
for the goal kick.
He went for the goal.
Tierney.
Tierney it was, yeah. And afterwards they were mocking him and said, about it. Let me tell you, if Scotland had won, they'd have gone back to that and it'd been. That was brilliant. Tierney was all pumped up for it. Passion. He showed his passion just to win a goal kick. I remember watching the Euros with England playing Italy, and somebody blocked a shot, and all the Italian team were like, whoa, and they're saying, "What are you doing? Celebrating, defending?" Well, defending, keeping a goal out is just as good as scoring one. Yeah. So. It's what we do, you're defenders, and you should celebrate it.
But
that punching for the goal kick, I get that. But had they gone on and won it, they'd have said, see that? He set the stall out there. After 3 minutes, they were all pumped up, they were at it. Unfortunately, they weren't, and they got absolutely smashed.
One of the worst teams so far, especially given their reputation coming into the tournament, has to be Croatia. Another one of the few that have, you predicted it. You predicted it. 2 games. Yeah, he needed
to be fair.
Good man management that.
They've had a good run. It's bound to be probability says it's going to run out of gas in a minute.
Yeah.
It's got to be Belgium, hasn't it?
Belgium.
They've lost to the lowest ranked team. Nobody's ever done it.
Also, Hungary have lost both games, and they were. A lot of people were like, dark horses.
I said quarterfinals meant for Hungary. What do I know? What do I know?
Yeah, not a great start.
I'll take Scotland out of the worst teams and put Hungary in there.
There's 3 though, and Scotland they have to be.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Croatia.
No, Scotland be worse than Croatia. They have.
They haven't.
They just lost 5-1 in the.
They haven't got the reputation of Croatia.
What about Ukraine?
Oh yeah.
Ukraine's bad.
I get it.
The
It's not,
keeper.
you know,
Scotland have to be
Can we
in
give
there.
them a bit of lever to Ukraine?
we give them sympathy, so we just don't put them in the
But we
mix.
can't
Is that what
say
it is?
it.
I get it. Sure. Okay. We'll allow you today. Turn up next time, though, really.
Yeah, they were pretty bad though, especially when you look at Mudrick is worth how much on his own? He's got
90 million,
Can't
Nick.
catch a break. This
90
guy.
million quid. Mudrick.
Well, they said 90 million wouldn't buy him. I'd be one of them. No, I don't see. I haven't seen that in him, and I'd love to see it in him because I tell you what, I don't like seeing players, and I'm laughing about him, which I don't like seeing players come for that money and then not performing, and I don't like seeing players not perform.
yeah.
Because I want them to, having bad times at football clubs and not scoring when you should be scoring. It's tough for them, and I've played with them, and I've had it myself when it's nothing goes right. And I had a spell when I was at Manchester City. I tried everything. Don't have a drink, have more to drink, train harder, train less. You tried everything to do it, and sometimes it's just not happening. But mind you, it didn't last for a full season. Mine, it was only for a couple of weeks.
How has all that changed as a manager with social media now involved? Like players, are they affected?
Yeah, well, they are affected. I learnt my lesson at Ipswich actually with a player. I'm not going to name that player who I was saying, but the fans thought he should be in the team, and quite clearly I didn't because I wasn't playing him. But it was Luke, the skipper, came to me. I was chatting to him about it, and he said, "Gaffer, are you on social media?" I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Well, I always thought that social media was used to abuse people, you see. So, but it's also there to big people up if that's how they feel about it." He said, "If you see the praise and the backslapping and the comments for this lad, he's like his head's off the scale, thinking he should be playing." And I'd never thought about that. How that could have an effect on how his character was and how he thinks and how he should think he should be in the team. That was a lesson for me. That I just thought it was the other way around. That if you're playing badly, you're getting abuse. Whereas this lad's got skillful player, but didn't think he should be in the team. And of course, other player is reading all the social media. Should be in the team. He's brilliant. He's this. So.
That's interesting. Should we do 3 best sides so far, just very quickly?
It has to be Germany. Has to be the number one,
yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable. Who else? Anyone that stands out? I feel like Germany at home as well. There's a bit of expectation there that they've definitely met so far. I have to throw England in. I think it's a great
Not
result.
best team.
Yeah.
Are we saying best
1-0 win.
best performances for your level, or just best?
Yeah, relative to where.
Then
wherever the
Albania,
country-
100%.
Oh yeah.
They pushed
Albania.
Italy all the way, and now
Yeah.
they've got a point out of Croatia.
100%, mate. Yeah, 100%. They were superb today, I thought.
And Slovakia have got a win against Belgium.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's not England.
It's not England. No, it's definitely not England. We know
Spain might be in there as well.
There's a
Spain were excellent.
There's a difference
Superb.
between the best teams and the best results.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
That's a good shout.
100%.
There is.
It's totally unfair to be judging teams against look at Portugal and France, the squads they've got. It's just their C teams would be
Yeah.
starting for everyone. you
Yeah.
know?
Look at the goals Turkey scored as well.
Oh, what? That's goal of the tournament so far?
Which one?
Ardar?
Arda, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they scored a few batters in that game, didn't
Is that
they?
the one he sliced in the top corner?
Yeah. He's at Real
Let me
Madrid.
tell you.
Like-
Let me tell you.
Oh my God.
He cut across that, mate. Let me tell you. It was a bit of a slice for me.
No, he's 19, mate.
Not Arda Goulet. Is that about the
Nah,
other
the
one?
other one.
Oh, the other one.
The first one. I
Yeah.
kind of
Oh, no,
agree
you're
with
right
that.
about that, you're right.
Because I saw it
Top corner.
earlier and thought it was going other
Let me
post.
tell you.
Yeah.
If he'd have caught that full on, it's going right the other post. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ardar for me is goal of the tournament so far.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is. in
Yeah,
line.
I'm with that. I'm with that. Yeah, he didn't slice it either. which is
Beautiful strike, man.
I'm impressed with you lads watching all these games. I haven't seen them all.
I haven't seen all of them yet, but
Seen enough.
I've seen most of them, and I've caught up on all the goals. I think it's been a great tournament so far.
It's been good.
for us.
Fabulous,
been
yeah.
good.
Lots of goals as well. I'm surprised. I didn't think it'd be as open as it is. I'm really pleased with it. Yeah.
It also looks like people are actually enjoying it. I know that situations are different elsewhere, but it looks like because you've got so many people in close proximity, they've been able to travel and they can support, whereas not everyone could get to Qatar.
Yeah, that's a great shout. I saw that actually somewhere as well, that the kind of previous Euros was semi-COVID related and in different countries. I think Hungary had some games in full stadiums. Wembley was half capacity. Then you got Qatar, which is very inaccessible. It was a good World Cup, Qatar, but very inaccessible.
It was a great World Cup, I thought.
Yeah, very good, but it's hard to get to for the average fan. And now you've got the first tournament, arguably since even Russia was far to get to, so maybe since 2016, France, of that Euro. So, it's interesting.
Germany's a great place to go.
Yeah, France,
many years.
Germany to get to is just, it's accessible, isn't it, for how many countries in Europe, and also for us on whether it's a ferry or a train, it's a doddle to get through and drive.
2016 is the last time Ireland got to a tournament.
Although worryingly,
It was.
worryingly, there was.
Chill out. We've got. Hold on.
Was that a barb at me? Was that a barb at me? I wasn't involved, by the way. I had left in 2002. I went back after that.
After that, yeah.
Have we not
Qualified
got?
for the playoffs and got the elbow.
Have we not got 2032? Is it or?
Wait,
2028, I think.
I don't
bid.
even think about
2028.
that far.
Yeah.
England
I
are.
can't
UK
plan
bid for it.
2032.
Well, I'm 65. I'm not planning.
Does that
for
not
one.
mean we're guaranteed a place? England and Ireland
I'm not
hosting?
sure.
Not sure.
Still have to qualify, don't you now?
Oh, okay. That's
I don't
fine.
think they guarantee you the place, do
That's
they?
a shame. That's a shame.
I think the World Cup is. I think maybe not the Euros. Because Germany started to play, didn't they, I think?
Who do you think is going to win the tournament, Mick?
I've said to everybody who's asked me that any one of the top 8 teams, you name where they are, whether it's Spain, France, I think England, Belgium, I thought might have a chance, maybe it changed after that. The top, Portugal, who knows? Italy. I wouldn't write any of them off because I saw it in Manchester United when they won the FA Cup. So Liverpool should have beaten them, and Kevin Maynard comes and scores his goal, and it ends up they win. Coventry, I've turned it off, by the way. I've turned the game off. It's 3. I think that's done.
Outrageous.
Coventry got well
I
beaten.
apologise to any Coventry fans because I turned it off.
Outrageous.
and then they get to 3-3 and have 2 disallowed, and you're thinking,
Rightly so.
Are you Man United?
Yeah.
That was sad, wasn't it, that decision?
And then they go on Manchester City, don't turn it, and they do them tactically. I thought they were brilliant. So, but would anybody have given them any chance of winning that game?
No.
All right, Manchester United fans would, but nobody else would have done.
No.
The betting, I bet if you go back and see what the betting companies were offering, there was not a big back.
What was it 15 to 1, wasn't it? 20 to 1?
So, but my point being, it's Manchester United, and it's Italy, and it's France, and it's Spain, and it's England, and it's
Germany at home.
Germany at home. So
Germany at home.
any of those could win it. I haven't got them.
I think Germany. Who are you thinking, Booth?
Germany.
Germany will lose in the final.
Against?
Say it.
Don't say it.
Say it.
Portugal.
Say it.
Maybe England.
That's
Would you check?
That's what I like.
That's convincing. That's
You're right. It's just the top quality teams. It could be any of them. That's why we like football, man. If it was that predictable, we wouldn't watch.
I think it's a very flat tournament. I thought France would be way better. Portugal would be a lot stronger.
It's too early. You're going too early.
No, but I think it's a flat tournament. I think there are
not.
deficiencies in the
It's a
French
great
midfield. I think Portugal's manager, for me, not to be too critical on managers, but is a little bit limited. And I think we've got limitations as well. I think it's a very flat tournament.
No, it's going to be a great tournament. The managers having limitations might mean
Flat in the sense that there's no standout. It's just, like you said, 8 sides that
yeah,
in
but it's flat, but it's good.
Oh yeah, it's high quality, but it's just a very
it's flat at a high level.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to say, it's been a good tournament.
Oh, it's been a great standout tournament.
Yeah, calling it flat sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there you go. That's who we think's going to win it.
Or maybe count France out because of Mbappe, If he's out for as long as I think he might be. Yeah, but
He's
they're
not going to
saying
be out
that.
with a broken bugle, is he?
Well, they're saying that I heard today that they were expecting him to be like 5 or 6 weeks before he's fully recovered. Now, he can put a mask on and play,
Yeah.
Did you
but
get that?
he's not supposed to be doing anything.
Does it hurt? Does it hurt when he plays? Do you
It's
know?
meant to be a more
He's the
serious
only one
break
that can
than
answer that
just
question.
No, but
a little fracture.
He's the only one that can answer that.
No, but if you've got a hamstring injury, a doctor can say, well, Adam should be playing football today.
Yeah, but
Someone's come out surely and said Mbappe should not be playing
yeah,
football.
but I suppose you shouldn't be taking knocks on your head if you've just broken your nose. But anyway,
Yeah, you can. He's not.
Just don't head it.
Sorry,
Pass it
I
to feet,
might want to
feet.
move on here, but I think having brought my bugle a few times and continued to play, and I'm a centre half, I've got to head it. He can stay away and don't have to head it.
Yeah.
I was surprised he jumped to head it for in the first place, like he did. But
He's desperate. He's desperate for that first Euros goal.
Yeah, he can play with a broken nose. There's me, Dr. Mike.
I think he's injured for 6 weeks. That's what I think.
You hope.
Dr. Booth as well. We're going to do. We've rounded up the Euros, and you've seen Mick McCarthy on our live stream watching the Scotland game, and we got a lot of his thoughts on the Euros in that. So we're going to ask some questions about Mick McCarthy's career. It's an esteemed career. Playing for some of the biggest clubs, winning the league with Celtic, and then his managerial career as well. After that, two hugely successful seasons in the Championship, winning that with the Championship Manager of the Year coming in tow. Mick, you managed internationally, which a lot of people remember you as Republic of Ireland manager. What's it like preparing for these tournaments? I mean, you obviously played in some of them as well, but what's it like preparing for the tournaments as a manager?
Well, you end up doubling up on what you're doing anyway, so prior to it, in terms of watching games, we would go and watch, if we could, you go and watch them play as opposed to watching them on the television. It's always better. You get a better feel for it. You get a better feel for the players that you're playing against. And that's at club level as well, in terms of recruitment. Lots of people now just watch them off the tube. But you don't get any feel for the players unless you go and see them. So you get a bit more chance with personality. So you're still doing that. You are preparing prior to it. I mean, if you think about when you're doing it, we were never quite sure that we were going to qualify. So we weren't booking things in advance, although Holland did. And, of course, we beat them. So they thought they were going to be qualifying. That's back in 2002. But you have to be there setting your camp up, see where you're going to be, where you're going to train. Where you're going to be in the country that the World Cup or Euros it is now are going to be, and you have to be prepared for that. And then, you get through the games and you're still watching all the players. And it's interesting. I've been watching Gareth answering all the questions. And the Euros, if you've qualified for a competition, the players that qualified are generally going to be the players that are going to go. And of course, he changed a few, and it's never about the ones who are going; it's about the ones who are not going. And that ends up taking probably most of your time up talking about them, which is rubbish because they're not coming anyway. You're just telling them why they're not coming.
How difficult are those conversations, though? Because you may use players at certain points in the qualifying rounds when there's injuries or something like that, and then they may have a certain level of expectation of helped the team get here. So surely I'm going to be involved, and then to break that news to them must be difficult.
Absolutely. There'll be a gang of 25 players that have used on a regular basis, I guess. You'd be taking your 23 players away, your 20 players, and your goalkeepers may have changed now. Your 3 keepers, but my squads didn't change that much. Sometimes for some of the friendlies they did. I used to have some of the lads who'd have the bags packed ready for the friendlies, knowing that some of the other lads, the more established players, might be getting the manager in the ear and not wanting them to come. And I'd be phoning them up and they said, "Yeah, Gaffer, my bag's packed. I was expecting the call." And that gives them a chance to get in the squads, and some of them did. Don't ask me who they are, but it's amazing if you get a chance and you get to play. Those lads will be ready to come no matter whether they're being picked in the squad or not picked in the squad. But I think the squad that I took to the World Cup was pretty much nailed on. Most of them were. There were a couple at the end I had to pick and choose from, and they're the difficult ones because you've got to ring them up, or they might be in a squad prior to it and tell them which they were with us. Dropping that 9 o'clock news is not very nice, let me tell you.
Look, you've got Jack Grealish and Declan Rice, who've both been involved in a sort of similar way to yourself because you could have played for England or Ireland.
Yeah.
Jack's been left out. He would have had that painful moment that you're talking about. Do you see this potentially being a big miss for Gareth, or do you think we've got enough?
I don't know. He's not the best season, has he?
No, but he's part of a winning team.
He's always, he is. But whether winning with him or without him, I don't know how many contributions he's made, to be honest with you. And I think he divides opinion in how he plays. And, Gareth's I look at his squad. Don't ask me to name all the names because I can't. Because I've had to write your 3 names down. You know that. So, but the players that he's got that he's playing, I thought, well, Bowen came on, but it was different class when he comes on.
He was superb, wasn't he?
You know, they got who else they got playing on the left hand side that they can play. They've just got players. I thought, and the lads that they took from Crystal Palace, I thought were really good. Eze, you know, he's a terrific player. Phil Foden plays on the left. I just think he's got cover there, and it's his choice. I thought it was a brave choice to do it and to leave his established ones out. I'm not so sure how good a great season that Jack's had, but if you're asking me, I just said myself, I pretty much went with all the players that had got us there, unless there was somebody injured or some other real. Something else that went wrong.
What do you make of that in terms of Phil Foden's season? Played so much centrally. I think on the right as well, he can receive the ball on his left foot. As a manager yourself, were you comfortable seeing Phil Foden being shifted onto the left? Do you think it made sense, sort of what Southgate did as a manager?
I think Phil Foden could play in the nets, to be quite honest. I think he's amazing. I think he's just, I listen to commentators when they're saying it, and wherever he's playing, if he's not having a particularly top game, then it's always because he's playing out of position. Well, somebody tell me his position. Now he plays in the centre of midfield, he plays on the right, plays on the left, he plays as a 10, and he just seems to do it with equal style and quality. That's nice if you got those kind of players, let me tell you. It's great.
How do the Irish population look at players who make the decision to choose England when potentially it could have been Ireland?
With great disdain.
Especially with the ones that represent the Irish shirt, like you got there.
If
from
you've
Rising
worn
Sun.
it,
it's a bit.
It should stick. Or I would imagine it's the
because it almost feels like sometimes when they wear it, it's because they couldn't get into it, and then they just now I finally got my chance, and they just drop it.
Well,
a bit
there was the opportunity there to play Jack and Declan in a competitive game, and if there was, then it's the coach's choice at the time to pick them. And I mean, I've done it. I've got players in the squad, and I've given them a game. Because I want them. I want them to play for Ireland. And once it's different now. I think it's 5 games now. I don't think it's just one game.
Yeah.
A few more, yeah.
It's whereas if you played one game, if you came on as a sub for 2 minutes, if you did that, and rightly so.
Right.
If you choose to play for that country, you turn up and you're on that bench, and somebody puts you on for 5 minutes. As far as I'm concerned, you're Hungarian, you're Irish, you're English, you're Welsh, whichever country you represented. But look, the 2 lads decided not to, and they went to end. And I had that was, excuse me, lads. I had that at the time because I inherited the job when those 2 lads were umming and ahhing what they're going to do. And I guess for their own careers, it's better that they chose England. But of course, it was a huge disappointment for me, and I kept having to ask banal questions from journalists. Oh, are they going to play? Are they going to say? I didn't know. I had no idea. But I had a fair inkling that if they could play for England, that's what they'd do. So, good luck to them. It was disappointing for me, and certainly disappointing for Ireland, to lose 2 players like Declan Rice.
It's got to feel like your hands are sort of slightly tied because, in terms of what you've achieved for the national team, it's potentially not going to be outdone for a very long time. And you would have had to, I guess, know that some of your best potential youngsters they're going to end up choosing the other door.
Yeah. Hugh, I do have that other feeling, though, that if they don't want to play for me, bollocks to them. Excuse my language. Can I say that on here?
You can say what you want.
YouTube.
So I do have that feeling. Don't feel too sorry for me, because if they don't want to play, see ya. Good luck.
Plus I
Crack
guess the flip side is there are other people that want in.
Of course, look, it doesn't matter where you are, club level, international level, but certainly international level. If you want to represent your country, the country. All right, so I wasn't born there, but my dad was. I'm Irish, and I represented it, and I was so proud to represent Ireland because of my dad. If you don't want to play in the team, just say so. Just don't let it linger on, until you can find out whether you can play for the other team. So good luck to them lads. They've made the choices. I've always been happy with the lads who want to play.
What were the challenges that you faced from because obviously you going into a tournament, you're now dealing with something where you're with the team for 4 to 6 weeks, having only really been with them every couple of months prior to that. How does that change feel when you're with the international team? Because there's a group of players that you rarely get to see, and now you're living with them on a regular basis.
Yeah, well, you have to look. You get prepared for that, and prepare to have, pool tables, table tennis tables, things that you can do. Preparing for the fact that they're going to be in hotels for long periods of time. Make sure that they can see their families. Make sure they can maybe get a day off and go out and see their wives and kids and do something. Invite the wives and kids into the hotel. Make sure that they feel part of it. And that's what we did. And you've got to do it. You've got to take care of their social life a bit. You can't just lock them away for 6 weeks because it drive them insane.
What's the most important side of being a manager? Is it sounds obvious, but the man management, or is the tactical side of the thing more your thing?
I think if you've really got the tactical side nailed, but you've got no man management skills, I think they'll respect you for that. Say, well, he's a great coach, but they still like to have their arm put around them and have the man management skills. If it's the other way around and you've got more man management skills, you're not going to get the job anyway unless you can do the coaching side of it and understand the coaching side. But I do think the man management side is vitally important, and I back that up because Jack Charlton had those skills. Jack played a certain way. We turned him around and we got after him, and all this high press now. It was us putting them under pressure, and they hated playing against us. And then when we got in their half, we got Ray Houghton, Kevin Sheedy, Andy Townsend, Paul McGrath, John Aldridge. We played football, but we turned teams around, and that was his tactics. And teams hated playing against us. And Jack said, turn them around, push up in their half. So now we're on the high press. We was putting them under pressure. They couldn't play out against us because we pressed them so hard. We chased them and harassed them. And teams hated playing against us. So everybody has their own tactics. But he was a brilliant, brilliant man manager. You hear lads say about him, we love Jack Charlton.
Oh, he's a legend.
Everyone,
He's
a legend.
Did you take a lot from his managerial style into how you manage football clubs?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I would have said we were, similar in characters from where we're from the north. But
what about the playing
say it
style?
as it is. There's a brutal side to that as well, because when you have to say something, you tell them. And Jack was, he had so much. Have you seen Finding Jack Charlton?
Yeah.
Have you watched that? The empathy that he had for Paul McGrath in that. But he was brutal as well, if he had to tell you something,
What a player Paul McGrath was as well. Unbelievable.
Magnificent Paul. Paul got into the World 11 in 1990 when I played with him in the World Cup in Italy. Playing in midfield, and he was a centre-back. That tells you something. You think about all the quality midfield players that there were at the time. He got in as one of the players.
It's like John Stones. I've been banging on about how good John Stones is. Can I ask you about Gareth Southgate? I'm very interested on your take about his time as England manager. As an England fan, I'm frustrated with how he manages results in big moments, particularly the final at Wembley, how he managed that.
Yeah.
Do you see a big future for Gareth Southgate at club level? Do you respect what he's done as a manager for England so far?
I do see a career elsewhere at a big club, because I think, well, first and foremost, I think he's managed England unbelievably well, because I think it's almost a political job as well, how he deals with the press. I'm sat watching a press conference the other day, and I'm screaming at the television. My missus saying, "What's up with you?" I said, "It's these questions that they're asking him about the players that are not in the squad." Try talking about the lads who've got in the squad. They
were fantastic.
The Crystal Palace lads who have got in the squad, all the ones who are in. Let's celebrate them.
Yeah.
Not Gareth. Just they want Gareth to say one little thing wrong, and he's brilliant because he doesn't.
No.
And I think he hands himself like a politician. I think his coaching's been excellent. You can see that he's done his work. Steve Holland, who works with him, is a fabulous coach.
Yeah.
They're great lads. I think he'll get the best out of them, because I think he'll have a lot of empathy for them, and he can relate to them. He's been a good player.
Yep.
The only thing I still do was the penalties when you change 2 players. It's one of those decisions you make, and if it comes off, it's a piece of genius.
Yeah.
If it doesn't come off, it's going to haunt you forever, because people are going to say it's the wrong thing. It shouldn't have happened. And players who've been on the pitch for a while, I'm sure are better.
Are you making them changes to bring players? Are you making subs to? Are you allowing your subs to take penalties, or making subs with penalties in mind?
I wouldn't have made them. No.
Interesting.
I'm not knocking him for doing them. If he thinks that's the right thing to do with the players he's got, then so be it.
Because Carragher was in a similar position for England at one point, and he missed his penalty, and he's spoken about coming on and feeling like, haven't even had a kick before yet.
How many penalties did Carragher take?
That's Jamie Carragher. It's not David Beckham, is it?
How many penalties did he take? Look, it's just one of those things, and you can be. I'm sure Pep's done some things, and he looks like a genius. And if it had gone wrong, they're never going to look at him and think he's a clown.
No defensive midfielder in the Champions League final against Chelsea. Do you remember that? No Rodri, no Fernandinho. I don't know if you remember that, but that
backfired, didn't it?
Yeah, but he does so many good things.
Crazy.
And let me tell you, there's not many people that get everything right. But throughout the career, but I think we're going back to Gareth Southgate. I think he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And I sincerely hope he has a...
Do you see enough of him improving? That's the comment, because 8 years is a long time. There's a lot of data. 2018 was fantastic in terms of morale. Now we're 8 years along.
Are you trying to get your anti-Southgate agenda off?
No, I'm asking basically. I want a little reward here. I want Mick to say we're going to win the Euros. That's what I want. Has he improved enough to beat Deschamps?
Does he have to win the Euros for it to be a successful tenure?
I think so.
You have no chance of me saying they're going to win the Euros. That's for one. I'll say they've got a chance, because I think they've got some really good players. I heard all my mates who come to me and said, well, second half against Serbia. One of my mates first said to me, do you think we'll slap Serbia? I said, no, I don't. I said, Serbia have got good players, and then you see them come out, there's about 5 or 6 of them who are 6'3", and they're all powerful and quick and athletic. Yeah. And they were hopeless for the first half, and England should have been more up. But I'm thinking, did England play badly in the second half, or did this bunch of players who are representing Serbia have gone in and the manager's got a grip of them and said, hold on, are we going to turn up here and not do anything? Yeah. Are we going to make a game of this? And they did. And England then win it. I'm not bothered whether they win it 5-0 or 1-0. Just win the game. Yeah. And that's what they've done. But they were playing against a much better side in the second half.
Away from England and back to your career, particularly your playing career, in 1990, you get to the quarterfinals, go out against Italy. What are your memories of that tournament? Because to get to a quarterfinals with Ireland must have been something special.
It was incredible, because we'd qualified for 88. We had a great Euros, and if you think about the Euros, then there's 8 teams playing in that Euros, and I think we were still playing against USSR there, and that's how long ago it is. But 8 teams as opposed to 24.
You played every group game in that Euros, didn't you?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I think so.
How does that work then? You go from the groups into a semi-final.
It's 8 teams. Yeah. We had England, Holland, Russia, and ourselves in the group. Sorry, you asked me about the World Cup, didn't you? The World Cup.
If you want to talk about the Euros, I'm happy to hear that as well.
No, we got a quarter-final in the World Cup. It was much better. But going through it, we're in the group stages. We're playing against Holland, England first, Holland and Egypt we had. And of course, we went through. We get through to quarter-finals. We never won a game.
Yeah.
We won them on penalties. But it was an amazing tournament. We'd had a good 88, and we went there with no pressure on us. This time we did, because people were expectant of us. And I have to say, I think we lived up to expectations, to be quite honest. I know we beat. Some of the players I played against, Ruud Gullit, and
wow,
I still put him down as probably the most difficult opponent. Yeah, because he was quick, he was strong. I tried everything. I tried to kick him, and he didn't mind that either. He could handle that. He was a big, powerful fella. And I remember it was 88 actually, not 90, because I thought at some stage the Dutch might just kick a goal kick and kick it up, and so we have to go and head it because I hadn't headed the ball. And I thought, I'll go and beat him in the air. Anyway, he jumped in front of me and I got all these dreadlocks in my face. And what was the real problem? When I landed, I realised he'd caught it on his chest. Wow. I was in serious trouble. So he was one of the best players. That was amazing. That was 88, but then I played against him again in 90. Romania we played when we beat them on penalty. George Hadji was just...
Did you take a penalty?
Yeah.
Was your hand not up?
Oh no, let me tell you, Jack was up for taking me off, but he wanted to keep a 0-0. So I thought, no, I was one of them. I used to put my hand up first and take them, but I missed a few. So I was doing the squad a real service by not taking.
What was your technique? Was it to place it? Was it power? What was your kind of penalty technique?
I took one for Celtic playing against Liverpool in the what do you call it? The club World Cup, when we were all banned from Europe.
Yeah.
So we'd won our league. Liverpool had won the league. We went to Dubai. There was 2 hotels and there was about 3 miles of sand in between. This is incredible. This is back in 1989. And I was taking a penalty against Bruce Grobbler, I think it was. I'd practiced them all morning. We trained in the morning. I'd scored every one. I'd hit it right in that far corner. And to this day, the ball's still travelling, the one I hit. Yeah. Packy Bonner saved a couple, I think, and got me out of trouble.
Unfortunately, obviously, fortunately, and for yourself, you managed at a World Cup as well. But unfortunately, that ended in a penalty shootout defeat against Spain. I remember that tournament quite visibly. Like that tournament's one of the, I think, you think of that 2002 World Cup, probably one of the best in my time. Yeah. Watching them again, like going from playing for your country, getting to a quarterfinals, and then getting to a round of 16 in the latter stages with managing them. How did that compare, and how did you feel doing that because not many people can do it as a player and a manager?
No, I mean, I felt huge pride in what we'd done and what we'd achieved, and actually played some, really good football as well. Played against Cameroon, we 1-0 down when we equalised. Same with Germany, who had, I think they only conceded 1 goal and we were on. Robbie Keane scored against them, and then we beat Saudi Arabia. Beat them 3. So both results. Cameroon were flying at the time, and Germany were, of course. So to qualify was great. And then we get Spain, and actually we should have beaten them. They scored early on, and then we missed a penalty. We scored a penalty. I probably should have known about the penalty, shouldn't I? And we were a different class. The football we played in that, we had a really good side, and I thought we should have won it. I mean, they had 1 sent off as well in extra time. We couldn't press our advantage on that. The penalties we took were just dreadful. And I've told it's well recorded, I'm sure, but I'll say it again. The last we'd always play an 80-side or a 10-a-side. How many players are fit to play would play a game the night before we're playing that game, and we played in that half that we ended up attacking the second half of extra time against Spain, and where the penalties were taken. And of course, I orchestrated a draw. You always finish it on penalties. So we took penalties in the same goal that we took them in on that night. So there was preparation had gone on for it. But doing it in an empty stadium and all the lads are taking the mickey and walking up on your own is somewhat different. So, yeah.
Yeah, it just changes. The pressure can just affect people in crazy ways, man.
And you remember the penalty? Do you remember the penalty that they scored, that they won with? And forgive me, so I said I headed too many footballs, I think, as a player. The player that stood up played for Middlesbrough, I think, Spain, and he hit it. I'm telling you, it only just reached, but of course, poor old Shea had gone the wrong way. And it was one of them. It was like a slow-mo watching the ball going. I should remember his name. I did a TV game with him as well. Mendieta.
Yeah.
I did a TV game with him. Yeah, we had a bit of fun about it. He was a great lad. But yeah,
good player.
you know, once you've gone that way, you're not getting back, and it's like Shea's looking.
Especially Shea's legs ain't long enough to just stick out as well, unfortunately.
So that was awful, but it was a great World Cup for us, really.
Yeah, it was good to watch anyway. It was definitely good to watch. It's been great chatting about your international career. Can we just show you 2 videos which have kind of gone viral?
Looks like you're going to.
Before, well, it's something we've got them here.
Go on.
Well, can you explain this video?
Nothing, is it?
What have you seen there? Out of the corner of your eye.
I'll tell you what it is. Pat Mountain, the goalkeeping coach, is coming here, and so we're at Blackburn, aren't we? Yeah,
it looks like Ewood Park.
The goalkeepers, our goalkeeper, the 2 of them, you know when they've all had the practice balls, they all try and hit it into the dugout. Yeah. That's what they try and do. They try and hit somebody in the dugout. And I asked, and it was Pat Mount that told me, he said, the goalkeeping coach, he's gone to me, Gaffer, and I've gone like that.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense there.
They try and smack, they kick him into the dugout, but of course I'm right behind, well, I'm in front of the dugout. And they'd love to hit the gaffer in the kipper, wouldn't they, if that'd be go down well. Yeah, so somebody's booting the ball at me.
And then the second one was this one, which I'm sure you've seen many times now.
Right, is it?
It's the...
Careless Whisper.
Careless Whisper, yeah.
Oh, I know. Well,
where is this? At Molineux?
This is at Molineux, yeah. But I'm sat on a stool outside the dugout. And I'm sat on a stool because I've got a pot on my leg. I've got one of those boots on my leg because I had an operation on my ankle. So it was just so I could just sit there and I could stand up, you know. And the cameras are always in your face. And then, like, I mean, what do? You know, you either go, give them like that, or so I just give them the look. And of course, it's ended up being this, you know.
Right.
So I give
Great look, isn't it? Yeah.
I give them a very seductive look, didn't I?
Yeah, it's quite. Yeah, it's very
smouldering.
Yeah, what's that film with Brad Stiller? It's very. What's it called?
Smoldering's a good word.
Zoolander.
Yeah. No. Where's a model, man? It's Zoolander.
It's Zoolander, isn't it?
Oh, Blue Steel.
Blue Steel. Yeah, it's very Blue Steel. Very Blue Steel.
I'm not so sure about watching Blue Steel. I'm not. You know, sounds like a bit of a porn one.
Oh man, yeah, enjoy watching that.
But you know, there's always a camera in your face. There's always something going on. There's, you know, I've done it for. I was 32 when I got the job, and I'm 65 now. I've been doing it for 30.
It's crazy, yeah.
30 odd years, and if they don't catch you with a camera doing something, and I did that on purpose because the camera was coming to me, like, you know, it was a bit like, do one really, but anyway.
Thanks for watching and listening to the Club Podcast. Remember, we're back throughout the Euros, so get subscribing, and of course, thank you very much to Mick McCarthy for joining us. Keep your eyes peeled for more